Hello, my friend. Welcome to another inspiring episode of Learn English Through Story. Today, we're going to dive deep into the amazing, emotional, and unforgettable life of one of the most powerful women in the world, Oprah Winfrey. Get ready for a journey filled with pain, strength, courage, and success. This is not just a story. This is a lesson in life, a story of rising from nothing to becoming everything. So sit back, relax, and let your heart follow every word. Oprah Gail Winfrey was born on January 29, 1954, in a small town called Kosciuszko, Mississippi, in the United States. But her life did not begin with riches, comfort, or love. She was born into poverty. Her mother was just a teenager, struggling to survive. Her father wasn't around when she was born. As a child, Oprah lived with her grandmother in a small old house. There was no running water, no electricity, and no toys. She used to wear potato sacks as dresses because they had no money to buy clothes. But even then, there was something special about Oprah. Her grandmother taught her to read before she turned 3 years old. And little Oprah would read Bible verses at her church, standing tall with a voice full of power. People listened. Even as a child, her voice had magic. When Oprah turned 6, she moved to live with her mother in Milwaukee. But life there was not safe, not happy, not easy. She lived in a poor, dangerous neighborhood. There were drugs, crime, and darkness all around her. Worse, Oprah suffered terrible abuse. She was hurt by people she trusted. She felt shame, anger, and fear. And for a long time, she kept all of it inside. She didn't tell anyone. She just cried alone. At the age of 14, Oprah became pregnant. She was just a child herself. Sadly, the baby died shortly after birth. It was the darkest moment of her life. Most people would have broken forever. But not Oprah. After all the pain, Oprah moved to live with her father, Vernon Winfrey, in Nashville. Her father was strict, very strict. He made sure Oprah focused on her studies. He gave her rules, structure, and a reason to fight. She began to read even more. She became the top student in her class. She started speaking in school competitions, and slowly, she found her voice again. At just 17 years old, Oprah got a job on the local radio station. She was confident. Her voice was strong. She talked like no one else. She didn't pretend to be perfect. She was real. And listeners loved her. That was the beginning. The moment everything changed. Oprah became the first black female news anchor at a television station in Nashville. Then she moved to Baltimore and started hosting a morning talk show. Her style was different. She spoke from the heart. She didn't just read the news, she felt it. But still, many didn't believe in her. Some said she was too emotional. Others said she talked too much. She didn't fit the mold. She wasn't like the others. But Oprah didn't change for them. She stayed true to herself. And soon, the world caught up. In 1984, she moved to Chicago to host a low-rated morning talk show. Within months, she turned it into the #1 show in the city. Just 2 years later, the show became The Oprah Winfrey Show. It would go on to become one of the most successful and influential shows in television history, running for 25 years. What made Oprah different? She made her show about people, real pain, real stories. She talked about addiction, racism, divorce, cancer, forgiveness, love, and loss. She wasn't afraid to cry on TV. She wasn't afraid to laugh. She wasn't afraid to be human. Millions of people, especially women, saw Oprah and felt hope. They felt seen. They felt strong. She helped authors become bestsellers. She built schools for girls in Africa. She gave away cars to her audience. She supported people who were suffering. She asked deep questions, and she listened. Oprah became more than a talk show host. She became a voice for the voiceless. As Oprah's fame grew, so did her power. But she never stopped working hard. She started her own production company, Harpo Productions. That's Oprah spelled backwards. She took control of her career. She owned her own show. She chose what to do, what to say, and who to support. In 2003, she became the first black female billionaire in the world. But she didn't just keep the money, she gave it away. Oprah donated millions of dollars to education, health, and human rights. She built the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy in South Africa, a school to help young girls become future leaders. Oprah once said, "To move forward, you have to give back." And she truly lived by that. Even with all her success, Oprah faced challenges. People criticized her weight, her choices, and even her beliefs. She spoke openly about trauma, religion, and spirituality, and not everyone agreed with her. But Oprah stood strong. She never let fear control her. In 2018, she gave a powerful speech at the Golden Globe Awards. She talked about truth, about justice, about women's voices finally being heard. The audience stood up and clapped. Some cried. People whispered. Will she run for president? She didn't. But her words reminded everyone, she's still one of the most powerful women on earth. Today, Oprah is more than a name. She's a symbol. She showed the world that no matter where you come from, no matter how dark your past, you can rise, you can shine, you can become a light for others. She taught us to listen, to feel, to speak, and to heal. From a poor girl in Mississippi with no shoes, to a woman whose voice moved the world. Oprah's story is not just a biography. It's a mirror, a reminder that inside each of us is the power to overcome, the power to change, the power to inspire. My friend, what is your story? What pain are you carrying? What dream do you hide in your heart? Let Oprah's journey remind you, you are not alone, you are not broken, and your story is not over. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe. New stories come every week, and each one brings you closer to understanding English and life.